we are going to check out the top 4 suburbs in the Knoxville area, and these ratings are according to niche.com, and they do a great job of rating things based on things like crime ratings, schools, weather, economics. But we need to take you and show you what these places actually look like. And so the top 4 suburbs in the Knoxville area according to niche.com are Farragut, Oak Ridge, Alcoa, and Maryville. And so we're gonna go check them out. The first area we're gonna check out is Maryville, and we're gonna take you through kind of the downtown areas, the shopping areas, some of the neighborhoods and parks for all of these areas. So you can kind of see everything that they have to offer. But my real estate team helps people buy and sell homes all over the state of Tennessee, and so we know all these markets. And so what I'm going to try to do is point out some of the major differences as we go through these to help you kind of understand what you would have access to in each area. But this is downtown Maryville, where we are right now, and one of the things about Maryville compared to the other 3 markets is it is the only one with a true historic downtown. And so you've got a bunch of stuff through here. This is kind of your traditional Main Street downtown with these historic buildings. You've got a bunch of different offices, you've got restaurants and coffee shops, and then you have things like nice furniture stores. So you've got Bill Cox Furniture down the street here, which is a really nice furniture store. You've got just a lot of different stuff to do down here, and I'm gonna keep walking down and show you a little bit down at the other end. So just a little bit further down the street here, we get to some more restaurants and a cool old theater. So I walked past several office buildings, and then you've got these restaurants along through here. So Bella is a really good Italian restaurant. And then right across the street here, Blue Tick Tavern, great things like, good pizza and burgers. And then this Mercantile right here, J. Danforth, is a really cool downtown store. And then that's pretty much it. So right down through here, you actually got a couple coffee shops just about a block down the street there. A few more stores a little bit further that way. But really, this is just about 2 or 3 city blocks, so a small downtown. But again, Maryville here is the only one out of the 4 that we're checking out that really has a historic downtown like this. So the location of Maryville is just about 25 minutes out from downtown Knoxville, and every one of these communities we're looking at is within about 20 to 30 minutes, but kind of on different sides of town. It's only about 10 minutes from the Knoxville airport, so really close to the Knoxville airport. And then it's about 20 minutes away from West Knoxville, which West Knoxville is where some of the really large shopping areas are. So you know what you have access to, and they all have pretty much everything you need. But if you need to get to a really large shopping area, then that's gonna be about 20 minutes away over in West Knoxville. Now this is Sandy Springs Park, where I am right now. Large park right in the middle of Maryville. It has everything from baseball fields and tennis courts to playgrounds, and it has this greenway that runs through here. This is a really long greenway that connects all the way over to Alcoa, which is one of the other communities we're going to take a look at. But then right here on the other side of this park is where a lot of the historic neighborhoods are. So homes sitting along through here up on this hill, and a lot of really nice historic areas of Maryville, which is one of the things that's really distinct about Maryville compared to the other ones, the other communities, is it really is a historic area, historic town. And so you get the historic downtown and then these really nice older neighborhoods. And there are some newer developments in Maryville as well. You also have the Smoky Mountains just about 30 minutes away from Maryville. Now everywhere around Knoxville is fairly close to the Smoky Mountains, but Maryville sits on the side that's even closer. So 30 minutes to get up into the Smoky Mountains. And that's one of the things that a lot of people really like about East Tennessee, is being able to be really close to the mountains. And then a lake just a few minutes away from Maryville as well. And there are lakes all around Knoxville, so all of these communities are gonna be fairly close to lakes. But the schools are also kind of right here, really convenient in Maryville. So this is Maryville Junior High, just up the hill here. And then Maryville High School is just about a minute this way, the elementary school. And there are multiple elementary schools, but they're really close by here as well. So everything in the city is very close by. The downtown area is just a couple minutes away. So it's all really compact in here, close by, and really has that true small town feel. So that's what a lot of people really like about Maryville, is the true small town feel that you get. And by the way, on the schools, because I know one of the reasons that a lot of families want to move to these areas is for the schools. So when you're looking at the schools, you want to make sure that you're actually in the city limits of Maryville, because a lot of the homes in the surrounding county jurisdiction also get a Maryville address. So if you're looking at a property that's listed for sale and it has a Maryville address, it might not actually be in the city limits of Maryville, it may be out in the county. So you need to make sure that it's actually within the city limits to be zoned for those city schools. So that's just something to keep in mind. So this right here is the largest shopping area in Maryville, and this is kind of right in the middle of Maryville. I mean, you're still just like 2 minutes away from the neighborhoods we were just in, just a couple minutes away from downtown. And you have an indoor shopping mall here, Foothills Mall, which has several stores like TJ Maxx, there's a movie theater in there, and then just a bunch of other stores that you expect to find in an indoor shopping mall. You also have a Publix, you have a Kroger Marketplace right up the hill here. On the other side, you've got a Home Depot, you've got a Target across the street, and then there's also a bunch of restaurants and everything mixed through here. So there's a bunch of stuff right through here, pretty much access to anything that you really need. But again, if you want to get to literally the largest shopping area in all of East Tennessee, it's just 20 minutes away. But this area in Maryville, I mean, it honestly has access to pretty much everything you could need. All right, we are moving over to the city of Alcoa now, and it has a lot of similarities to Maryville, but one of the big differences is it does not have a downtown, but it does have these nice historic neighborhoods. So you can see these homes, kind of a similar era to those historic neighborhoods over in Maryville. And it's got this really nice park in it as well. So the similarities with the park, the neighborhoods, and then the schools are just down the street here. They're all really compact. Literally all this stuff that I'm talking about, the neighborhoods, the park, the schools, all within just a few minutes walk from here. It's also got the greenway, like I mentioned. This greenway back here is the one that connects all the way over to Maryville where we just were. So a lot of similarities, but no downtown area. And the history behind that is Alcoa is actually a company town. So this whole community was built by the Alcoa Facility Aluminum Company of America. That company has been bought out, but there is still an aluminum company in the town here. Although this is a very clean town, so when you think of a factory town, it's not dirty, it's a very clean, well kept up town, so really nice. But that's kind of the history behind it, and so that's why it doesn't really have that same historic downtown that Maryville has. But as far as having all the other aspects of a really nice community, it does have that. People are proud to live here. It's kind of a small town vibe, a small town feel, even though you don't have the downtown area. So that's kind of what Alcoa offers. It is very convenient as well. Only about 20 minutes out from downtown Knoxville, about 15 minutes out from West Knoxville. And then the Knoxville airport is actually just about 1 minute from right here. So Alcoa is a convenient location. It's right next to Maryville. It's actually right between Knoxville and Maryville, so very convenient. So we're gonna hop out and take a look at the shopping area, but this is just an absolutely beautiful setting, neighborhood, and park right here in the middle of the community. So I mentioned Alcoa does not have a downtown, but it does have a brand new commercial development right here called Springbrook Farms. And this is actually a massive development. It's only just kind of beginning, but this little area through here has things like a spa, a coffee shop, a couple restaurants. There's a couple restaurants back here, but there's also a grocery store in here, and then a ton more space that's gonna be developed. So no downtown, but a really cool commercial development that's coming into this area. And this is literally right next to the neighborhood we were just in. So I could walk there in just a couple minutes from here. So really convenient. And then the older commercial area also has a bunch of other stuff, Walmart, Lowe's, you know, a bunch of other stores. And we're also only about 5 minutes from the commercial area in Maryville where I just was with the shopping mall, the other grocery stores. So Alcoa is a very convenient area, and with this new development, it's just getting more convenient. So we're over in Oak Ridge now, and this is kind of the biggest downtown area that Oak Ridge has. This is historic Jackson Square, but you kind of have to understand the history of Oak Ridge to really understand the town. So historic Jackson Square, as you can see, is not really like your typical historic downtown area. It does have this really pretty memorial garden out here behind me as well. But the reason that this is kind of a different vibe than what you typically have in a historic downtown is Oak Ridge is, like Alcoa was a company town, the Aluminum Company of America, Oak Ridge is actually a government town. So Oak Ridge was built for the Manhattan Project, which if you don't know what that was the United States creating the atomic bomb. And so that's actually what Oak Ridge was literally built for. So the facilities here were part of the Manhattan Project. And two of the largest research facilities in the entire country are still located here, the Oak Ridge National Lab and the Y-12 National Security Complex, which are still to this day two of the largest employers in all of East Tennessee. But they are really top line research facilities. There are companies and institutes from all over the country and all over the world that will use the technology that they have in the facilities here in Oak Ridge. So that's a really cool history and a lot of great research that still goes on with this city. But what that means as far as the development of the city is you don't get really kind of that downtown vibe like you did in Maryville. So it's a similar size, great schools, a lot of access to conveniences like shopping and stuff, but this downtown area is kind of all you get. So that's kind of the reason why the city's laid out the way it is. We're gonna hop out and take a look at what some of the neighborhoods look like, and after that I'll take you over and show you the shopping. Before we head out into the neighborhoods, the location of Oak Ridge is actually a little bit further than the other suburbs we're looking at today, but not too much. So from where we are right here, we're just about 30 minutes away from downtown Knoxville, about 30 minutes away from the Knoxville airport, and then just about 20 minutes away from West Knoxville. So a little bit further than the other locations, but still fairly convenient to get into town. So this neighborhood right here is kind of an example of what a lot of the neighborhoods around Oak Ridge look like. Now there are some brand new developments if you go a little bit further out west as well. But one of the things about Oak Ridge compared to these other communities that we're looking at is you can actually find homes that are priced a little bit lower than in most of these other communities. And so kind of like I mentioned at the beginning, every single one of these areas has one of the top rated school districts in the state. And that kind of goes along with why niche.com rates these areas so highly, along with a lot of other factors as well. But if you want to get your kids in one of those school districts, a lot of the times it comes along with a very expensive or more expensive area. But out here in Oak Ridge, you can actually find homes that are at a bit of a lower price. And in fact, one of the new developments that's out kind of on the far west side of Oak Ridge, you can find brand new homes starting in the $300,000 and $400,000s, even for larger family size homes. And so if you compare that to some of the other areas that we're looking at, if you wanted to get a brand new home, it's going to be starting in the $500,000 or $600,000s, depending on which other area you're looking at. So if you want to get a brand new home or a home kind of in one of these older neighborhoods, starting in the $300,000s, there's going to be a lot more options over here in Oak Ridge, kind of all around the Oak Ridge area. A lot more options than there are really in any of these other suburbs that we're looking at today. So this right here is the largest shopping area in Oak Ridge, and there's a bunch of stuff here. So one of the things to know about Oak Ridge is while it is a little bit further out from Knoxville than the other suburbs we're looking at, it actually has a little bit more here than the other ones do. So there's a bunch of stuff here. I mean, you've got Old Navy, JCPenney, Home Goods, Ross, PetSmart. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff through here. There's a movie theater across the street here. There's a Dick's Sporting Goods over here. There's also some really cool museums in Oak Ridge, with the history that it has. There's some great museums. But so Oak Ridge is a little further out, but it does have some more shopping. But one of the other things to know about it is it's a bit more spread out. So this location right here, kind of like the central area with a lot of shopping, is about 8 minutes away from the downtown area we were. But one of the important things to know is those new developments that I was talking about are actually about 20 minutes away from here. So it's more spread out, actually quite a bit more spread out than Maryville or Alcoa is. Now, Oak Ridge offers something right here that actually none of these other communities have. So this area right out here behind me is a large nature preserve with miles of hiking and mountain bike trails. So Knoxville has several areas around it with nature preserves that have mountain bike and hiking trails. And there's one in Farragut that is a lot smaller than this, but anything this size, none of the other communities have. So this is something really cool that Oak Ridge has. It's right here in the city of Oak Ridge, and it sits right along the lake here. So it's a pretty setting, and it really offers kind of in a city setting, it offers a nice nature preserve with a ton of hiking and mountain biking options. So that's something that is unique to Oak Ridge out of all the communities that we're looking at today. So this is Farragut that we're in now, and the first thing to know about Farragut is this is in West Knoxville, which is the area that I've been referencing throughout the video that has really the large shopping areas. And Turkey Creek, where I am right now, is the largest shopping area in all of East Tennessee. So there are over 50 different retail stores, over 50 different dining options, not to mention things like doctor's offices and gyms and spas. So there's literally anything that you could need right here in Turkey Creek, and this is in Farragut. So the first thing to know about Farragut is just the convenience to all these shopping areas. So the location of Farragut is about 20 minutes out from downtown Knoxville, also about 20 minutes away from the Knoxville airport. And you have this brand new downtown development right in the middle of Farragut. So up until now, Farragut has not had its own downtown. You know, Maryville has its own downtown. Neither Alcoa nor Oak Ridge really have much of a downtown. And up until right now, Farragut didn't either. But now Farragut has this brand new town center. As you can see, these are still being developed. I mean, literally, this road has just been put in. These buildings are brand new. But, you know, niche.com already ranks Farragut as the #1 suburb. So you get this town center on top of it, and that's just another thing that adds to what you have access to here in Farragut. Now, as far as the layout of Farragut, it is a little bit more spread out, kind of similar to what Oak Ridge was like, although not quite as spread out as Oak Ridge. So to get from one side to the other, it's only about a 15-minute drive. So you have this town center right in the middle, and then the schools are right across the street here. So the Oak Ridge school is right across the street. Again, some of the highest rated schools in the state, similar to these other communities we've seen. And so you have this town center now in the middle, you have the schools in the middle, and then Turkey Creek, the big shopping area, just a few minutes down the street. And then kind of towards the other end of Farragut, you get just a big residential area with a lot of nice neighborhoods and parks. So I'm over on the more residential side of Farragut now, and I'm walking up into one of the new developments here behind me, but you can see this massive park across the street here. So Farragut has some really nice parks. That's McPhee Park across the street. It's got a soccer field, tennis courts, basketball courts, pickleball courts, a playground. So Farragut has some really nice parks, and they're kind of, you know, spread out in this residential area, so super convenient. And then just like all these other communities, Farragut has greenways that connect through the neighborhoods, connect to the parks. And so really convenient area to be able to enjoy the parks from all these different neighborhoods. But most of the new development in Farragut is going to be in the $800,000 to $900,000 range starting out. So that's what these homes are. Through here, they're going to start. These particular ones are going to start in the 900,000s, but there are some that are going to start in the 800,000s. So Oak Ridge, where we just were, is going to be the lowest price market out of all the ones we're seeing. Farragut is going to be the highest price. So to get in most of these new developments, you're starting in the 800,000s. Now in some of the older developments, you can find homes lower than that as well. Most of these new developments are going to have fairly small lots. So if you want a bigger lot, then some of the older developments actually have larger lots. Or there are some custom home developments just down the street from here where you can find nice large lots as well. And a lot of those homes sell for $1 to $2 million. There's a few listed for $2 to $3 million right now on those nice larger lots. So higher on price, but really nice neighborhoods over there. So one of the other things that kind of sets Farragut apart is that these new developments are actually required to have a few trees put in. They're required to have the greenways put in. And the city of Farragut really does a good job with the greenways and having these parks spread out throughout it. And so one of the things you'll notice when you drive through Farragut is it has a little bit more of a put together kind of feeling. They do a good job of making sure that everything is really well taken care of and looks really good. And so that kind of comes along with being a more expensive area to live in. And then one of the other cool things about Farragut, it sits right along this lake right here. And actually, Maryville and Alcoa are just on the other side of the lake. So if you go to the other side of the lake and go about 15 minutes further that way, you'll get to Maryville and Alcoa. So Maryville and Alcoa are both convenient to this lake as well, but Farragut sits right along it. And then Oak Ridge also has that lake that runs right next to it as well. So those are the top 4 suburbs of the Knoxville area according to niche.com. And so as you saw, they have a lot of similarities. They all have the highly rated public schools. They all have nice parks, they've all got nice greenways, all convenient to shopping areas. So some of the main differences, because there are some major differences, is Maryville is the only one that has that historic downtown area. So Maryville really gives you that true small town feeling with that historic downtown area. Alcoa is the smallest community, so it doesn't have a downtown area, but it has that brand new shopping development. So still really convenient to shopping, but it has kind of just more of a neighborhood feel because there is no, town center. And then Oak Ridge is larger, it's more spread out. You don't have the same kind of historic town center that you do in Maryville, giving it that really small town feel. It's more spread out, although you do have that small town center. Really the whole city is a little more spread out, so it doesn't quite have the same small town feel that Maryville does. And then going over to Farragut, you have that brand new town center that's being developed, but you still don't really get that small town feel like you do in Maryville. What you have in Farragut is more of just a modern suburb feel. So a lot of nice shopping areas, a lot of nice new development neighborhoods, a lot of nice parks, but it's more of a suburb feel than it really is a true small town. So hopefully this video has helped give you an idea for what the differences are between these suburbs that are ranked number 1 through 4 according to niche.com. And hopefully it's gonna help you figure out if one of these could be the right fit for you and your family. If you are thinking about making that move to Tennessee, my real estate team helps people every single day, just like you, make that move to Tennessee. And so if you want to connect with us, you can go to our website, tnexpert.com, and you can book a call with us there, or you can simply scan the QR code that you see on the screen here, and that will take you directly to a link to book a call with us. We would love to connect with you. We make these videos just to help people learn about Tennessee and learn about the different areas around Tennessee. And so if you want to stay up to date on everything going on in Tennessee and continue to learn about the different areas of Tennessee, subscribe. Other than that, I will see you on the next video.